Welcome, everyone, to the CRM MVP Podcast, episode number 97. In this episode, we're starting a new series called Love It or Hate It, in which I'm going to interview a couple of MVPs. You can see them right here on your screen if you're watching this on YouTube. By the way, if you're listening to this, go to our YouTube channel, CRM MVP Media, because we are actually recording this live, and you can see the three of us on the video if you want to do that. And, you can see that we have Neil, one of my favorite people in the whole world, and Matt, I don't know
Not
if
so
I can
much.
say your middle name. Well, I just hesitated to say your middle name, that we all know.
Okay. That's fine.
Witterman, both veteran MVPs. They were MVPs before I was even an MVP, and I'm so looking forward to hear what you guys have to think about, because today we're talking about the sales app. And the sales app has been in Dynamics forever. Well, at least the functionality included in the sales app. When it was CRM, everything was just CRM. There wasn't any sales app. But I want to talk about the moving parts of the sales app, at least the 10. I put together a list of 10 things, and to get your thoughts on those, whether you love them or hate them, and why. I want to hear why you still use this or not use that or whatever it is, because I think we can all learn from that. But before we do that, why don't you do a quick introduction, Neil? Why don't you talk about, I guess, your experience with Sales App, and what do you do for a living, I guess?
Hey, hi everybody. This is Neil Benson. I run Customery, and I'm on a mission to help Microsoft customers and partners build amazing business applications. I've been working with Dynamics CRM and 365 for a long time. I was going to say that sales functionality is a great topic for me, Gus, because it's been around almost as long as I have, even as long as Matt Witterman has. Some of these features are so old. So yeah, really looking forward to this session. Thanks for putting it together.
Absolutely. And you're right. The sales app is one of those things that you're like, when you hear people, it's like, I wonder how CRM4 looked back in the day. I'm like, well, let me show you. Let's open goals, and let me show you exactly how this thing used to be. All right, Matt.
Yeah, Matt Witterman. I am based in the USA, North Carolina, and I work with Hitachi Solutions, better known as the MVP Army.
That's right.
And I'm the lead architect for sales and marketing, and that's because I have been working with sales and marketing in CRM world for a very long time. Very passionate about both of those.
Awesome. So really looking forward to hear what you guys have to say. And in case of a tie, I guess I'll be the tiebreaker. I've been implementing Dynamics since 2006, and I know the sales app inside and out. Maybe not as proficient as you, Matt, when it comes to the new stuff, because I know you're on top of all that new stuff with Dynamics and what Microsoft has released pretty recently with the sales app. But in this specific episode, we're going to talk about things that have been around for a long time, because I think that the people that listen to this show either implement Dynamics or are customers that are not so much looking at the brand new stuff, but am I really doing a good job with the stuff I already have? So that's kind of the focus of this show. So let's just start, let's just jump into the fire right away. Leads. The idea for this episode in part came because Neil had a pretty public discussion with a few people out there talking about the value of leads. I think Neil, you took a stand of like, I don't see the point of leads. I never use them. So let's talk about leads. You love them or hate them? Neil, why don't you just jump in?
I don't think I said I hate them. I said, what are you using leads for, you idiot?
All right.
So you hated the person you were talking to more
That's
than
right.
the leads, apparently.
Yeah. So I think in most of my customer deployments, leads have been the number one source of duplicates, especially in business to business, because somebody will go in and create a lead record, and the account already existed, the contact probably already existed, and they didn't look it up, didn't care, just created a lead and then converted it into an account to contact an opportunity, and now we've got duplicates everywhere. I really don't see the point, especially in a business to business scenario. I think the marketing team should be responsible for maintaining all the accounts that we could possibly work with, right? We know what our target market is, create all those accounts, import nice, clean data, and any leads that a salesperson wants to create should just be a contact, if they doesn't already exist, and an opportunity. So I hate them. Get rid of them. It's a 1995 data model that Microsoft copied from SalesLogix, and Siebel and Salesforce copied the same thing. Time to move on.
So you're just going straight to the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you have someone that or an organization that you don't really know if they buy what you sell. Let's say you're a construction company and somebody says, "Hey, I need to build something. Let's talk." At that point, you don't really know if what they need. What if they need a bridge and your company just doesn't build bridges? Don't have engineers or the skills or whatever to do it. Like, what do you do then? Do you just put them in the system as an account with a account category of prospect, or like how do you handle that?
Yeah, you'd have an account with an account category, and the category could be, you could call it a lead for like.
Well, there's a field called relationship type, right? Out of the box.
Yep. So call it a prospect, call it a lead, call it a suspect. I've used all sorts of terms, and that would be a potential customer who has never bought anything from us. And if I know the person, I'd create a contact record. And if I wanted to sell them something, I'd create an opportunity, and I would be a lightweight opportunity, and I'd qualify that as quickly as I could. And if they didn't want to buy anything from us, I'd close it off and away we go. Move on to the next one.
So let me ask you this, Neil. How do you distinguish, let's say you have an existing customer, you've got the account, you've got a contact, and you've got that, so the relationship type shows customer.
Right.
And then you find out they download some information, or you ask you for some information about something. You still don't know if it's a legit opportunity. Does that person even have buying authority? Is it a good fit? Are they even in the right, business? How do you do with that?
Matt, I think deep down you really love leads. You're trying to talk me around.
just playing devil's advocate here.
Oh, there's a little bit of love in there in your heart, Matt, I can tell. You would have you'd maybe have a score on that contact if they have been engaging with your website. Marketing teams should be able to take care of that for us. And if that person has tripped over a score, then perhaps we create an opportunity for them. Maybe we pass that off to the sales team to go and qualify that. It's not hard.
Okay, so I'm a big fan of keeping things simple. I don't think that leads should be used in every project, but I do have an issue with kind of your approach in this specific scenario, because when you say, for example, like, well, the main reason I don't like leads is because there's an opportunity there for duplicates. All of the ways that you have to avoid duplicates if you're not using leads, let's say if you're going straight to contacts and accounts, can be used with leads. Duplicate detection looks across entities. So you can check for a duplicate on an account or a contact level when you're entering a lead. It actually checks for both at the same time. If you're doing that separately, meaning entering an account and a contact, you have to do it twice, whereas with a lead, you do it once. So I feel like there are some scenarios where doing leads is actually faster and better to keep it cleaner. And also, when you say, for example, I create records like accounts and contacts, and if I can't sell them what they want, like they want a bridge, we don't make bridges, then I just close it out. Well, what does that mean? Are we talking about like deactivating accounts, or I just feel like in certain scenarios, leads make sense, but not every time.
So I will take you one better. I don't think duplicates are an issue at all. So I'll tell you, I told you this in the email before, Gus. I've had a religious conversion when it comes to leads. I hated leads for years. Back when I was at Click Dimensions, the way that our application worked with leads was kind of the out-of-the-box intended way, where you tried to avoid that duplicate, so you created a lead, and the intention was it got converted to a contact and or an account and so forth. And I remember having arguments with some partners where they were just like, this is wrong, this is not the way it should work, and they gave me all these different reasons, many of the ones that you guys have mentioned. But I'm going to open myself up to some criticism here. Over the last year working with Dynamics Marketing, I am converted to the way Dynamics Marketing treats leads.
So tell us about that, Matt, because I don't know the marketing application as well as I do the sales. And my understanding is there's slightly different definitions. So
yep.
Yeah, I'd love to find out more.
So the easiest way to think about leads today is as an expression of interest. And a lead is always parented by a contact. So you don't have duplicates. What you have are multiple expressions of interest. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, because you get, when a lead comes in, if you have a form from your website creates a lead, it also creates a contact as the parent. right? So it's not orphaned out there. This does a couple of good things. One is maybe you find out they're looking for bridges and we don't sell bridges. You still got them in the system, and that first expression of interest, that first lead, you could say disqualified. They come back later, 6 months later, they fill out another form for something you do sell or that they are a good fit for. Now you have another expression of interest, and you can say, hey, 6 months ago they were looking for a bridge. So you start building up this history of those interactions underneath the contact. So that's the first big benefit that sold me, is you see this history of this expression of interest. And it's simple enough. Lead comes in, you create a contact, map over some of those fields, and link them. And then from that point forward, your marketing systems handle creating that lead underneath those contacts. That also lets you do a couple other things. Let's say you sell different products or have different divisions in your company, and that lead comes in for product A, and then later comes in for product B, and they have their two vastly different sales cycles. Now, each lead can be handled by the sales team in their own sales cycle. And you can see how they're qualified, what stages they're in. And then recently I was working with a customer who your point, Neil, about scoring, they had tried using different mechanisms for scoring, some different systems and tools, and their salespeople were very resistant to it because they were like, I don't know what is it really a legitimate score? It says 100. Is that even real? Was it 100 6 months ago? Is it ticking down? I don't know. And so they just started ignoring them. What we started doing was saying, what if every night we run a system, or now, use flow. We run a flow, and we go out and we augment that lead with some other information. Maybe we match it up against some external data to see if we can enrich that lead to find the information that the sales team is interested in. Marketing team captures first, last name, email address, and company, but the sales team's really interested in, like, well, what's their job title? Have they been at that company a long time? Other things you can enrich it with. And you go into CRM and say, have they even bought from us before? Have they been in a part of a failed opportunity before? So you can run some automation and enrich that lead without messing up your nice contact and all that other information, and then hand that lead off as a marketing qualified lead to the sales team.
Interesting. I mean, I think that
like
in some cases, leads can also create confusion, and it can make things complicated. I'm working with a customer right now, for example, where they go to trade shows and stuff, and they want to have a database of leads they can reach out to and then qualify. They say we qualify a small amount of all those people. I mean, they want to just win the PS5. They just give you their card, and then later on you call and they don't want to buy anything. So they saw the value on that. But then at the same time, some of those leads are interested in multiple products, and that creates problems because if somebody is interested in, let's say, 2 or 3 products, well, what do you do then? You can't qualify them into one opportunity because they might want product 1, but product B they don't really want, and then product C they want to think about it. Or they might be interested in a motorcycle, for example. I know you, Matt, you like motorcycles. They say, I'm thinking about these 2 or 3 models. I'm not going to buy all 3. I'm going to buy one of the 3. So what do you do then? Do you create – why not? Yeah. Do you create one opportunity for all 3 models? How do you handle that? You close them as loss and the other one as well. It can make it complicated, but along with that complication, let's move on because I feel like we can do a whole episode about just leads.